Boom, 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 Chanka. How's it going, everybody? Good morning to you all. Jarvis Cocker, me and you, we're the only ones here. It's very early, though. We're getting going. Thanks very much for stopping by. Just a quick video from me today, really, and then I've got to get on with my day. But I just wanted to jump on here with a little sort of morning report, talk about some of the major headlines going on and obviously the transfer speculation and stuff that's going around today. It is transfer deadline day for the January transfer window. So the big question is all of United's business been done in this January transfer window? We got Bruno Fernandes last night. That's bloody amazing. You know, absolutely buzzing about that one. He's going to be an amazing asset for us, hopefully anyway. We have signed some big name players in the past. It's not really worked out, but he seems to have come in for, you know, a reasonably good price in the end. He doesn't seem to be on ridiculous wages. He's at the right age. He's hungry, taking a step up. So I think that's a great signing all round. You know, forget the current situation, the Glazers, Woodward, all that. It's a great signing. Fair play to him. They got him in there. Ole Gunnar looked bloody ecstatic holding the shirt next to Bruno Fernandes. Of course, because now he doesn't have to play Pigeon Boy, does he? But anyway, he didn't have to play him anyway, to be fair. But anyway, Bruno Fernandes is signed. But is that all the business United are going to pull off in this window? Are we going to be able to bring in a forward player, a striker? We got Rashford out injured for a good few months. Nightmare for us. Banging in the goals for us before the injury. Huge loss, that one. One of our best players for sure, if not the best, in terms of effectiveness out there for winning us games. So very disappointed that he's injured, but we need to do something about it, really. You know, if we ended the window now, having just got Bruno Fernandes, it's good. You know, we needed a creative midfielder, could be the catalyst, as we all say, to get us going again and be the spark for us this season. But we all know we do need a forward player up there, because if anything happens to Anthony Martial, we're in a shit creek. You know, he blows hot or cold anyway, really. We could do with somebody up there just adding a little bit of firepower. We'll talk about some of the major headlines that's going around in the world of football right now in terms of strikers for Manchester United. That's what all the speculation is about, because United do need to bring in some sort of forward player up top there. Whether that's a slightly wide player to do the sort of thing Rashford was doing, or a striker up there to help out Tony Martial, that remains to be seen. Now, last night there was a deal supposedly offered to Manchester United for Real Sociedad's Willian Jose, who, you know, I've not seen a great deal of, to be fair, but if you look at his stats, I think he scored something respectable like 44 goals in 113 appearances for Sociedad. So that's pretty damn good. It's not bad anyway, you know, and I got him on FIFA. On FIFA Ultimate Team at the start of the season as an inform, and he was an 84 rated inform. So that's pretty freaking decent, do you know what I mean? You ain't getting no 84 rated Jesse Lingard inform. When's the last freaking Lingard inform that he had? You probably have to go back to probably FIFA 16 for that one. But anyway, Willian Jose is supposedly being offered to us. I don't know if we're interested in that. A loan move potentially until the end of the season. Supposedly also offered to Spurs. So that's a striking option up there. Josh King of Bournemouth. Apparently Manchester United have had a big bid rejected. It's been reported, it's all over the major news outlets this morning, that Manchester United have put in a bid for Josh King of AFC Bournemouth, and they have knocked it back and rejected it because he's too important for their relegation battle this season, which is very, very true, to be fair. Now, what do you think about Josh King? I mean, look, he may not be the greatest player in the world. He's not getting that much better, really. I think he's about 26, 27, something like that. You know, in terms of a Norwegian connection there, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer obviously has that with him. He sort of came through the United ranks there, didn't he? He's got that connection there. We could do with some players. That's the fact of the matter. United need some players up there. At this stage, I'd pretty much take anybody. Do you know what I mean? But Josh King, look, he's never going to blow the world away because he's just a bit of an average player. But in terms of what United are looking to do, pace, have a bit of cover up there, he's probably quite a decent option, to be fair. There's some other names that are being touted around, which, are Solomon Rondon's son. I don't really want to see Solomon Rondon in a United shirt, to be fair. I mean, he's not bad, do you know what I mean? He's not terrible, but Nah, Solomon Rondon. I'd probably rather see Josh King, to be fair. But out of anybody, if I had to choose a single striker to come and join United this window, which is actually legitimate, and look, as you can see in the thumbnail, we've got Edinson Cavani on there, but that's not legitimate, my friends. What is possibly legitimate is not that legitimate, really. Let's be honest now. But it's Olivier Giroud. Now, that's the player I would go for to try and come and add a bit of quality, add a bit something different up top there, add some goals, add some experience, add some rugged good looks. That is what I'd be looking to do if I'm Ole Gunnar Solskjaer right now. But of course, lots of people have mixed opinions on Olivier Giroud. He's obviously not been in the best run of form or time at Chelsea. But just as another option for United, we could try and get him. Whether or not they'd want him to go to us, I mean, that's another question. Lazio are apparently in for him, so he'll probably go abroad. But I would like to see that anyway. I think that was a decent option. In terms of Edinson Cavani, I touched on that a moment ago. It's not really going to happen, that, to be fair. I mean, it doesn't fit with what United are trying to do at the moment, trying to sign, potential players that are going to improve and stepping up to play for United, whereas Cavani's obviously his big name, huge reputation. Look, he's a quality player. He's a very passionate player. He's a dangerous player. He sort of reminds me in attitude of a little bit of a Carlos Tevez out there on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? It's a little bit of a bulldog, but he's a born goal scorer, that man. So it would be great to get him, but it'd probably be, I just don't want to go through another Radamel Falcao situation. We all thought we were getting this wonder player when we signed Radamel Falcao last minute on deadline day, and it turned out to be just an absolute Colombian nightmare. So I'm not too keen on seeing Edinson Cavani come in. I don't think it really fits with us. Sure, if he's available, I mean, if they really want to take a punt on it. We've seen them do a couple of these things in the past and panic buy, like the Falcao situation there. Does this really change anything in terms of Woodward and the Glazers? I mean, if they finish strongly with this transfer window, I think a lot of the fans, rightly or wrongly, would probably get off their back for the time being. If they've signed Bruno Fernandes for 67 million, including all the add-ons and stuff, and they're also prepared to spend a little bit more and bring in a striker and actually help Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out. They've held their hands up. They've got egg on their face. Woodward's got spray paint on his gaff. And, they've said, look, we didn't give Ole the tools that he required at the start of the season. Should have invested more. We're in 5th right now. It could be worse, probably where we should be with the squad we've got. If we want to push for top 4, we want to back the manager, we've got to invest a little bit here and now in January because the squad's stretched. It's a skeleton squad, and we could definitely do with helping the little Norwegian fellow out, couldn't we? So I think that's what they are trying to do now. Maybe it's just Bruno coming in, but I'm actually feeling way more optimistic than I usually am when it comes to the final deadline day here. I've got just a little tingling sensation down in my loins, and we're not talking about the fact that it's early in the morning here. I'm saying that there's a possibility that United might do a little bit of business before the end of the window today. Is that a guarantee? Absolutely not. 50-50, whatever. I don't know if we're really in for players, but apparently we're bidding for players like Josh King. We've had a bid rejected by AFC Bournemouth today. Also, we may go in for a second bid if we really want to go and get him. He's very important for AFC Bournemouth. But it could be quite important for United as well, just in terms of having cover, because we are stretched right now with injury issues. I just want to say massive shout out to all of you legends that are tuning in right now. It's very early in the morning. It's 7 to 9. Who's up at 7 to 9? Why are you guys tuned in here at 7 to 9? But either way, there's a bunch of you legends tuning in at 7 to 9. I think you're probably on the commute to work or whatever. Wherever you're watching from, wherever you're going, if you're on your way to work, thank you very much for stopping by. If you're on the tube, yeah, you're a legend for tuning in this morning. Talking to you, Stefan Harringtonio, the Saint, Big D. Who else is there? Sam Ingram, Nathan Phelps, Incomplete 6230. GTA Red Star Gaming. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of you. So let's get into your comment section now, lads and lasses. You've heard me waffling on for a little bit now. I don't have too much time. But let's stick around and see what you guys think. The Saint comments, Man United are not getting Willian Jose. So we don't know if that's going to happen, if he's going to leave Sociedad, if he's been offered to United, if United have even have any interest in putting a bid in for a potential loan deal to the end of the season. Tottenham Hotspur have apparently had some sort of contact with Suck Off Your Dad as well. So that could be, something that materialises. Jarvis Cocker, how you doing, Jarvis? Good morning to you, my friend. He comments, King has 43 goals in the Prem last 3.5 seasons, and that's from the left. Not bad in a relegation club like Bournemouth. I tell you what, Jarvis, up until this season, I'd have said, look, we should go and get Josh King, because he was doing some bits, I tell you. Bournemouth have struggled this season. It's the worst season they've had, really, since they've got up to the top flight. All the other seasons, they sort of managed to get themselves mid-table safety by now. Never really been in a proper relegation scrap since they've come up here. Eddie Howe's done a fantastic job up until now. This season it's just gone a little bit off the boil, and I think Josh King probably has as well. Stats wise, I believe he's only got a few goals this season and maybe a couple of assists. I know last season his stats were fantastic, and the season before his stats were really great as well, so I think that you have to go off that, really. The whole team in general is struggling at Bournemouth there. They've had a difficult season. You can't really say that Josh King's lost there or he's not as good as he was. I think the team's just really struggled. I've seen Josh King play a bunch of times. I think down the left, dangerous, quick, can certainly take a man on, can certainly whip a ball in, can certainly score a goal. So he's definitely an option. He's a good option. He's a Premier League option. I mean, who would you rather? Somebody that does it in the Premier League for a lesser team, and if you put him in a bit of a better team, maybe he'll be able to do it a little bit more, and he'll be able to contribute, and he's familiar with the Premier League? Or do you go and get like a Willian Jose on loan who's coming in there, he's a bit unsettled at the club he's at, whatever, his goal scoring rate's decent but not fantastic, backup option, will he, it'd be better really to have somebody that's in the Premier League. Plus, if you're thinking about the United Academy connections and things like that, I like stuff like that. I think the more of those guys we've got around in general, the better, unless the name's Jesse. Oh dear. Ian T comments, Niall Ranger is available after being released from prison. Ian T, calm down, son. Soon you're going to be suggesting that we get Ched Evans on loan or something. GTA Red Star comments, Paco Alcácer is available for 23 million. Why didn't we do that business? I have no idea, my friend. Is he really available for that, though? Because you think there'd be a host of clubs in line to get him. To be fair, he's a decent player. Wackass comments, Alcácer signed for Villarreal now. So yeah, but why didn't we do that? Dabo comments, Woodward won't resign, and after what happened to him, they won't fire him. Well done, idiots. So yeah, it sort of almost galvanised them, I suppose. Maybe it's sort of... I doubt that whole Woodward attack situation on his home had anything to do with Manchester United signing Bruno Fernandes. I really don't think that's the case. Maybe Woodward would like to get another player in this window, though, just to take some of the initial heat off of his back, and I don't blame him for that one either, to be fair. But look, he's not done a great job over the years. Even if he does sign another player right now, he's still probably not the right man for the job at United. He's obviously not the right man for the job the way that he's run the club over the years since Gil left, and he's just a Glazers yes man and all that good stuff. We really do need to look at getting a proper director of football in there. Stick to your commercial deals, Ed, your financial deals to sap money from the club and give it to the Glazers. Stick to all that guff, mate. But in terms of football stuff, probably better with a proper director of football in the mould of an Edwin van der Sar, seeing what sort of great stuff he's been doing at Ajax there. So that's what I would like to see. But yes, I think that is a possibility anyway, that he's sticking around for a very long time. We better get used to it. Hopefully we can just keep him, scared enough without going to his house and obviously doing crazy stuff like throwing flares over and doing crazy stuff like that, but protesting properly. Hopefully we can get him to sign some players for Manchester United and convince the Glazers to invest a bit back into this squad, because although we are waning a little bit over the years, we're still a massively commercially successful club. Comment here I want to read out from Sirius Lee, who comments, Pookie, Norwich are gone. He's a decent player who's played in a system that tries to go from the back to the front quickly. Sirius Lee, thank you very much for getting in here with your comment. Timo Pukki, he had a great start to the season for Norwich City, to be fair. He's easily their best player, really. He was doing it in the Championship for them. Nobody really expected them to come up and have the start to the season they did. They really bossed it, but they've all gone off the boil as well. Norwich right down there, relegation battle, not looking that great. If they're going to stay up at all and have any hope at all of staying up, which is looking slim at the moment, they're going to absolutely have to keep hold of Timo Pukki. Now, will Manchester United want to sign a player like that? I mean, I don't know if he's really good enough quality. And now, calm down. I know he's been great this season, and he has scored some excellent goals. But if you just stuck him in there in a Man United side, I don't know. I just don't know if he's going to fit that much. I mean, not the most pacey player. We'll see. I mean, maybe he'd give you something different. It depends all on the amount of money that it would cost. I mean, you don't want to pay like 30 or 40 million for Teemu Pukki, and Norwich City probably don't want to sell for anything less than that, because at the stage of the season is how important it would be to get the goals for them for the remainder of the campaign, to just try somehow to stay up. And if they do go down, to get them back up next year as well. So you've got to factor that in. Norwich seem to be sticking with their manager through thick and thin here. Whether he does get them relegated, I imagine maybe he'll stay with them next year, and Delia will get her parachute payments and they'll come back up again. That could easily happen. But no, I'm not too blown away about Teemu Pukki, to be fair. I think Josh King, look, he's not a world beater by any means. His statistics, like we were talking about earlier on over the last few seasons in the Premier League, are very, very respectable. I just want United to go out there and get a striker, you know. Come on, Woodward. Come on, the Glazers. Do something about it now. We've got a skeleton squad. Rashford's out, Pogba's out, McTominay's out. We've signed Bruno to go in the midfield there. We've still got like the likes of Fred and Matic behind them, which isn't ideal, but they're not bad. They've been doing good recently. We've got to get some players up there. Dan James has gone off the boil a little bit recently. I think mostly down to a little bit of fatigue. He's been run ragged this season, to be fair, and done a fantastic job and played some great football for United and really has put in some great shifts out there. But yeah, we need to get another player in there for sure, 100%. Thank you, T3 Triple D. Shout out to you. Joshua Takax, how you doing? He says, hour in front here at Malta. Thank you very much for getting here, Joshua. Nice to see you, mate. Check out his YouTube channel also. The Saint, don't know what you're on about there. Salim comments, I'm at work. Big fan of Flying Pig. Thank you very much, Salim86. Top man, get in there. Jarvis Cocker says, I'm about to drive my boy to daycare, then work. Awesome. I thought I'd try and do a couple more videos around the sort of morning time, you know, before I'm off to work and whenever I'm around, which is not very often if I'm not off to work, because I'm just in bed at this time usually if I'm not working. But yeah, I'm trying to do more videos generally throughout the day. It is deadline day today, so it seemed like a good time to do it, and there's obviously some speculation and news stories going around. Bournemouth bid rejected from Manchester United for Josh King, for instance. Good stuff to talk about, so I thought I'd jump on here, and anybody who's not aware of this stuff, who might be commuting or whatever, there you go. You've got a little bit of information there, don't you? Nice one, Jarvis. Shout out Mikhail Doom, Marcus Araujo, good morning to you too. Thanks for getting in here. Glenn, oink oink, back to you, my son. Big D comments, you never know, Mr. Potato Head Ed might surprise us with a striker today. I really hope so. I've got a little fizzing sensation downstairs. It's going to happen. Something's going to materialise here for United. I can feel it in my loins, deep down there in those porky loins. So, yeah, very, very optimistic for a change. Not usually optimistic at all when it comes to United in transfer windows, because of Ed Woodward, because of the Glazers, and generally how poorly this football club is run and the lack of investment in the side. But right now, you know, we have signed Bruno Fernandes. We do have issues up top there. I think the Glazers, I think Woodward understand that, and I think that they are going to give Ole Gunnar an extra player. We'll see. You know, it doesn't usually happen, does it? We get what we want from the Glazers. It doesn't usually happen. But if it does, I'll be very, very keen to see us sign a player or two. Two's way too optimistic. My Orth comments, morning pig from Australia. G'day, mate. Thank you very much for joining in, pal. That was shite. Especially at the end there. Rubel 2009 comments, Timo Werner. I mean, that would be an ideal signing right now. He's obviously great finishing, great pace on him as well. Ability to get him behind, the movement from him is brilliant. Just his goal scoring rate over there for Leipzig is excellent. Very impressed with Timo Werner from what I've seen from him. Is that a realistic signing right now? I would guess absolutely not. Is it one that we could look at in the summer? I would guess that we absolutely should. But will we? I don't know. Nick Brown, shout out Nick. Thank you very much for getting in here. Says, morning pig, loving the show. Thank you very much. Loving your super chat there, Nick. You have a great day. Thank you very much for getting in here. It's very early in the morning, but great to see you all in here, including you, Nick. Thanks for stopping by. Ivan Radoslavich comments, we need at least 2 strikers. Hey, pig. Well, I mean, I'd be happy with getting 1 striker in there, because we do have Martial. I know what you're saying. If anything happens to him, we've seen how shite we can be when Anthony Martial's not in the side. And Rashford's, of course, injured at the moment. But you do have Mason Greenwood in the side still. I know he's only 18, but he's obviously a player that can play up there and does have good finishing ability. Yeah, you're right. You're right, actually. Really, we don't have many options up there, do we? So you're probably right, actually. In an ideal world, that's what we would like. Sam Ingram comments, Dear Flying Pig, Raul Jimenez would suit Manchester United because he's physical and knows where the goal is and is strong. Yeah, I mean, we all rate Raul Jimenez. I think he's been doing a great job over there at Wolves, goal scoring galore for them, putting in real good work recently, and is definitely one of their most vital players. But the thing is, they're not going to want to sell him at this stage of the season, especially when they're on the same points as United right now. It's only going to sort of increase the likeliness that the gap starts to materialise between the clubs. And Wolves are, if we're being honest now, I mean, maybe with a little bit more time and a couple more signings, this will change dramatically, and if Oddie can work as wonders or whatever. But Wolves are not a much worse side than Manchester United right now, so Jimenez may be happy there. Wolves won't want to get rid of Jan, no way. We'll see. I mean, I'd love that. I'd love us to go and get Ruben Neves as well, like in an ideal world. In a realistic world as well, if you're talking about players who would realistically come, we could spout your Lewandowskis as much as you want, but in terms of actual realistic prospects, Ruben Neves, Jack Grealish, Giroud, just as a backup option there. Timo Werner in the summer, possibly Jadon Sancho, but we're getting a little bit into the realms of unrealistic there. There's definitely some players that are available that we could get. Thank you very much, Marco Arajo. Nathan Phelps comments, Ciro Immobile. That is a possibility, man. I don't know if his availability or anything right now. Pete Hibbard comments, no chance of any more signings. There is only time for Wooden Top to wipe his ass Glazers out. Fair comment, Pete. Good comment. Let's not get off the Glazers. Let's not get off Woodward just because they made one signing of Bruno Fernandes. This has been a down spiral for years and years and years, and United fans need to make our voices heard that we're not happy about the way that the club's run. And if they're going to be the owners of this football club, which they are the owners, you can't do anything about that, but if they are going to be the owners in a peaceful Manchester United, in a harmonious Manchester United with a fan base and everything, then they have to do their utmost to give the fans what they want, which is brilliant football out there on the pitch. To get brilliant football, you need to make great decisions along the way. Potato Boy's not done that in any capacity, really. And also you need to give the manager the ability to be able to do that, and that is to bring the players in to build the team that can compete with the likes of Liverpool, that can compete with Man City. We played City the other day, we beat them on the night, great performance, but in terms of reputation, in terms of quality out there on the pitch, they golf us everywhere. From Bernardo Silva to David Silva to Kevin De Bruyne to Sergio Aguero, whoever you want to talk about here in any position pretty much. Maybe there's a couple you could argue like Wan-Bissaka versus Kyle Walker. Like, I'm very happy with Wan-Bissaka, to be fair. Kyle Walker's a very good player, but you can argue Bravo versus De Gea. There's a couple. But mostly, it is Manchester City dominating United in terms of who would get into a United combined 11, United City combined 11. So that's just plain wrong. United should have been building to try and get up there and get the team to compete with City a lot better than we have done under the ownership of the Glazers and the tenureship and the overseeing of Ed Woodward. He's had a calamity, really, with his general appointments and his transfer dealings and the lack of movement in the summer, letting players go. We're on about getting Sanchez back off loan now, probably because we needed him. It's like, really, he shouldn't have gone on loan then. If we have a skeleton squad, then why are we getting rid of players like that and not replacing? I was happy when Sanchez went on loan, but I thought we were going to get somebody else to come in and replace him. When Herrera left, I was like, well, he's been our best player really for the last season or something in midfield. We don't really have the midfielders there, but it's all right because he didn't want to stay. He wanted to go get more money at PSG. They can offer him a bit more Champions League football, that. And United will go out there and we'll replace him. We'll get a midfielder, definitely. So I wasn't too bothered, but then we didn't. Lukaku went. 1 goal in every 2 games for him. Wasn't that bothered about him going. Maybe not the right type of technical player. Surely we're going to get a striker in, though, to replace Romelu Lukaku. But he goes and we don't. So, that they have mismanaged this football club, especially over the last year, especially since Jose's gone, that window where they didn't back Jose and give him the defender that he needed, the sagas that have taken place since then. Some of the players we signed, like Harry Maguire, took so long, and then when we ended up overpaying significantly for the guy, really, when we could have probably got him for a little bit less earlier on. And same goes for this guy, Bruno Fernandes. It's been going on for so long. In the end, I think we paid a fair amount of money for him. But we could have paid that a little bit earlier on. We could have paid that at the start of the January window and actually had him for the whole of January. Imagine how important that could have been for us. So they've definitely had mayors here. You know, it's not like Sporting Lisbon were asking for 100 million and we were saying 42 million. No, we were saying 42 million and they were like 60 million, some add-ons. And we were like, nah, we'll just wait on it a little bit. And then Barcelona came sniffing around, supposedly, and that's when we went and done the deal. So, you know, and that after Woodward's house has been attacked and stuff too. So is that a coincidence? I think not. Anyway, right, guys, I'm pretty much going to have to wrap this video up. Actually, I've been blathering for nearly 25 minutes. Let's just read a few more of your comments out, lads and lasses, because I do appreciate you all getting in here. If you are tuning in here, it's an early morning show. Please do us a favour if you are here right now. Smash us a little like on this video. Get your thoughts and opinions in the comment section here. And we will go through them. Jarvis Cocker with a controversial comment here. Let's read it out. He says, unpopular opinion, Danny Welbeck from Watford. He struggles with playing time. Danny Welbeck, eh? Imagine if we just got the return of the Magnificent Seven back to United. And what I mean by that is the return of 7 rejects that we've got rid of. Josh King, Paul Pogba, Danny Welbeck. Who else can we sign that we used to have? Should we get Wayne Rooney back from Derby County too? But in all honesty, Danny Welbeck, I mean, you know what I mean? Before he went, he was a decent enough sort of squad player for us, utility player. Certainly back in the day, Fergie, rated him one for the future. Managers have got the best of him, but certainly the last year or so we had him at United, he wasn't that great. I agree with what Jose said when Jose came in, though, after Louis van Gaal had sold Danny Welbeck to Arsenal, and Jose said that he wouldn't have actually sold Danny Welbeck. He thinks Danny Welbeck's a United player, and he came through the system and everything. He's a useful player, he's a versatile player. Look, he's gone off the boil since he's gone to Arsenal. Could he get his career back on track if he came to United? Probably. Would we want him at United? I mean, he was a bit of a headless chicken at times. But we are desperate right now. But so it's an interesting shout you make there, but I can't imagine it would happen. I mean, could you imagine Danny Welbeck? The Saint says Danny Welbeck is okay. Clam J comments Danny Unwelbeck, more like. Always injured. Hyther Fanarian comments get Messi and De Bruyne. True, we should get Pep Guardiola playing centre-back too while we're at it. Stefano Antonio comments Celtic going for 9 in a row. Much more important. Is it? Is it though, Stefan? Yeah, I agree with you. Incomplete 6230 Glazers. American maggots. Out, out, out. Can't go wrong with that sort of statement. It's always true. Kaiser Soze comments, buy either top shelf established or get someone young and promising. So top shelf established, who are we talking about here? Who's top shelf and established? That, I mean, Edison Cavani's proper top shelf, isn't he? If he came in there, Martial's going to be flung out to the left-hand side and Cavani's going to be a number 9, isn't he? He's going to be the man trying to get you the goals. That's what you'd imagine. Would that happen? Is it realistic? The money would have to be big that United would pay him. Could be another Falcao situation. I don't know about that one. Phil comments, not getting Haaland just shows the intent of the board. Easy cheap deal. Signing some old dunce on loan ain't cutting it. Werner and others available for reasonable money. Yeah, very true. Werner's a player we should be looking to get. And you're so right about Haaland. Like, what was it? Some sort of release clause issue or an agent fee or something like that, which all the other clubs around world football seem to be okay to deal with. And it's part of the modern game, rightly or wrongly, whether you disagree with these super agents sucking money out and all this stuff and getting these fat commissions. It's part of the game. You've got to deal with it. Dortmund dealt with them. You know, come on. We could have got him if we really wanted him. We could have got him if we wanted him. And in hindsight, we really should have got him. A great one for the future. That whole Norwegian connection there. Different physical striker up top there. The Norwegian Zlatan Ibrahimovic of the future, so they say. We've missed out on a really good player there. I mean, time will tell. Maybe he'll turn into a freaking, I don't know, like a Freddie Adu or something. But chances are he'll go on to be absolutely mustard. At the very least, I'm expecting Ida Johnson levels of success from the lad. Do you know what I mean? The Saint comments, Cavani only top guy. Yeah, so in terms of top players that are available to United right now in the striking position, Cavani would be the one. But what would you have to pay for Cavani in terms of wages and stuff like that? Like, it would have to be a huge amount of money. I don't care about that personally, but as long as it's not ridiculous. 300k is one thing. When you've got Pogba on 300k, but 500k on Sanchez, no. And also, look at the Falcao situation. I think we were paying him 200k when he came over. Big money deal for him because he came over on a free there, we ended up paying him an absolute fortune. He did nothing. One of the best strikers in the world the season or two before did nothing for United. There is this sort of curse at the moment on United with players coming in. When we sign top players, they don't seem to work out. I mean, look at Harry Maguire so far this season. Now, he's been doing all right. Don't get me wrong. I'm expecting to see a lot more from him. Captain Slabhead, I like his attitude. Liked his attitude in the last couple of games, and now he's gone about himself in general. Don't get me wrong. But that we've overpaid for that. He's not taken to United like a duck to water at all. Pogba, £90 million. Flush it down the toilet, really. Bang average most of the time. Sometimes he's a worldie, sometimes he's a girl. It's hard to say. Who else is there up top there? Lukaku, 75 mil, didn't work out. Sanchez, it's laughable what happened with Sanchez. Di Maria, there's a bunch of players it just doesn't seem to happen with that go on afterwards and do well elsewhere, and that before Manchester United get them are world beaters. So there's every possibility that Bruno Fernandes is going to turn into an absolute melt job in his first debut game against Wolves. Hopefully he's going to play. And there's every possibility that if we signed Cavani, it would be another Falcao situation. I'm not even joking. He's a great player though. Don't get me wrong. The opportunity comes up. Do you want to take Edinson Cavani right now? Do you want the transfer? Yes, I would say yes, because he is a top player and he's going to score you some goals, and that's what we need right now. We don't have the numbers up there. So I'd absolutely take him. Clam J comments, will Bruno free Pogba? I don't know if he'll really free Pogba. It depends. I mean, if Bruno's in front of Pogba creating and Pogba's behind him alongside McTominay, maybe it will. Pogba's best position, I think, is actually in that role that Bruno Fernandes is probably going to take for United, which would be that sort of number 10 role in front of the two-man midfield there. Creating, spraying things around, getting the wingers away and all that good stuff, unlocking defences. So Pogba, that means he'd have to play alongside McTominay. I don't think that's Pogba's best position. I think Pogba's better in the CA role, the same role as Fernandes. So I don't really know what's going to go on there. I do think Pogba's likely to leave in the summer transfer window and go elsewhere, the way that his agent was talking and how he's been speaking in the past. And just generally what's going on with Paul Pogba at United. He's come back, he's tried, I guess, but it's not really worked out for him here, and it probably never will. For him to further his career and better his career and win some things, he should probably go elsewhere right now. And for United, it probably makes sense to cash in while he's a big name still and has a big price tag and has plenty of time left on his contract, and we can get a couple of quality players for Paul Pogba. Got a bit of morning gas here. Sorry, lads and lasses. Right, okay. Noah Todd, how are you doing? Thank you very much for getting in here. Right, I'm going to pretty much have to wrap this one up, lads and lasses. 32 minutes we'll be going, but thank you very much for joining me this morning. I wanted to jump on to do a quick video about the Josh King news and also this Willian Jose malarkey and any other players and realistic strikers that you think Manchester United might have a chance of signing in this window. Just wanted to touch on them a little bit. The likes of Cavani, probably not going to happen. Giroud, probably not going to happen. Chelsea won't want to see him go to us at all. It's not really going to happen. Who else was there we were talking about? Either way, Willian Jose, that's probably not going to happen. So we'll see. Maybe Josh King is one that could come in before the end of the transfer window, but we'd have to pay a reasonable amount. AFC Bournemouth, like they say, they need him. They've rejected the bid, and they're probably quite desperate to keep hold of him. Like I say, Eddie Howe's got Bournemouth in a relegation battle this season for the first time since he got them to the Premier League, really. I mean, you can argue it always is for a club like Bournemouth, but the first time since they've come in there and into the league, and they're in a relegation battle, they need to keep hold of Josh King. So I don't think they're going to want to sell by any means. United will have to spend a fair bit of money, I'd imagine, to get in there. Josh King would really want to come, I'd imagine, coming back to United, and it's a player that we could do with right now. He's not a world beater. He's not, a Messi or anything like that, but certainly for a bit of cover right now to help out with the loss of Marcus Rashford I think it could be a pretty shrewd signing, to be fair. And an added bonus, like we've got Bruno Fernandes, that's great. We all know we needed a couple more players. We're three players away from having a full quality starting 11, capable of challenging the likes of Man City and Liverpool and Spurs in terms of squad quality and depth. I think, maybe not depth, but in terms of starting 11 quality, if you added, say, a top quality central defensive midfielder to our side, Pogba leaves in the summer, you get, I don't know, Ndidi or Kante or somebody like that. Not going to happen, but Ndidi maybe. And then you've got Bruno Fernandes in front alongside McTominay. Maybe you add another player in there as well, like a Grealish or someone, to come through the ranks and help out and play a bunch of games. And that would be pretty decent in midfield. Sancho out on the right, some sort of winger type would be fantastic. We've got Dan James there, of course, but Sancho is doing unbelievable bits over there. That's probably not realistic, but something like that would be brilliant. We need a striker up top there. Erling Haaland would have been fantastic, but we bottled that one out. Thulani Bukhani comments Wilfried Zaha. I'd take Wilfried Zaha back to United right now, to be fair. Look, again, with him, he's not a world beater, but he's a good player, and we didn't utilise him at all. When we had him, he's gone on, and he's been, one of Crystal Palace's best players the last couple of seasons. I think he's a very good, talented player. We mismanaged him, like we have done with a lot of players over the years. I mean, I don't know if Memphis Depay, if he would come back to United, if he would be the player that he's been since he's left, because he looks mustard over there. Whenever you see clips and footage from Memphis Depay and hear that he's bossing it over there. But for us, he wasn't that great. I mean, he was great in the Dutch league. If he came to United, it's just some sort of a curse. It's some sort of a horrible curse on Manchester United. Right then, that's going to be it from me this morning, but I just want to make you aware, because it's deadline day, keep your eyes peeled for some videos throughout the day, just in case there is some concrete movement for United, like if we put in another bid for Josh King or anything like that. I will keep you up to date with it. For now, please do smash a cheeky little like on this video. There might be a end of the window roundup as well tonight at 11 p.m, which coincidentally is the same time that we leave the EU. So it's not just the end of the deadline day, it's the end of England's participation in the European Union as well at 11 p.m. tonight. So it's sort of like a transfer deadline day / Brexit show. But anyway, do tune in for that if there is one. If there's any major news for United, I definitely will jump on and do one. If there's nothing to report, then I probably won't do one because it's late on a Friday night and who's going to be around. But if there's anything to discuss, we will get into it then. I'm going to wrap it up there. I was supposed to do like a 20-minute video here, so I'm going to be a little bit late. But thank you so much for stopping by. Please do us a favour before you go. There's over 60 of you legends in here right now, which is great considering it's so bloody early. Please smack a like on this video and get your thoughts and your opinions in and your desires in. Get your desires, your heart's desires. I'm not talking about no freaky desires here. I'm just talking about your desires in terms of Manchester United signing anyone before the end of the window closing later on today. So that's it from me. Thanks for stopping by. Shout out to the peeps at the end here in the live chat who make this show great because of all the interactivity going on and feeding me constant bits of information and questions and stuff like that. Thank you so much for interacting with me today. I hope you have a great day. Have a good morning, everybody. The Saint, Stefan, Kaiser Soze, JP, Clam J, Michael Fletcher, who else is there? There's a few others that I need to read out. Phil, Thulani Bukhani, Sam Ingram, thank you to everybody that's getting in here. Nick Brown, thank you very much for stopping by. Right then, I'm gonna leave it there. Like, subscribe, comment. Thanks very much for stopping by in the live chat too. Stick around on the channel later for any news. Keep your eyes peeled. There might be a little bit of movement from United. I'm not too optimistic, but I'm more optimistic than I usually am because I just think maybe we've got a bit of a point to prove right now. We do have injury issues. We need some signings. We definitely could do with a striker, let's be honest, or a forward player of some description to help out and chip in with some goals between now and the end of the season because Rashford's out. Right, I'll leave it there. Have a great day. This is the Pig on Fire, Pig United. Come on, United, please surprise me, and in a nice way. Come on, United, I'll see you soon. This is the Pig. Take it easy. Oh, yeah. Just waking up, aren't we, lads and lasses? Definitely feeling tired and buckling this morning, but thank you very much for joining me. It's very early. The Pig's not used to this sort of time of the day. But thank you to these guys at the end here who support the channel and help the channel on Patreon. There's a link in the description if you guys are that way inclined. Obviously, this is all free. You can watch this for free, but if you do want to help out, the option is there. Alex Rudd, Rincon, Ikalul, Matt Norton, Lucinda Green, Robbo, Liam White, Gungshi, of course, the infamous Gungshi, Jarvis Cocker, Pete Miller, Wallace Moncroy Stewart, who's got the poshest name on the list, Marshall Growler, The Saint, Steve Johnson, and the newbie on the list, Red Devil United 77. Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by. Have a great day. Hopefully United sign someone later on. I'll keep you posted if we do. And of course, we've got Wolves coming up this weekend. See you for the watch along as well. Stay classy.